Ryan Powell of I Run Far here with Kaytlyn Gerbin for the 2020 Transgrancanaria. How are you, Kaytlyn?
I'm awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here.
Welcome back to Transgrancanaria.
I know.
You were here last year.
Yep.
And had a really great race. What probably was one of the highlights of your season, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it was my first race of the season last year, and to get the chance to come out to the Canary Islands in the middle of winter was just awesome. So I've been wanting to come back.
So walk us through your race last year. Like, it had to have been a strong performance. What did it look like from your perspective?
So I almost like hate saying this because I know I ended up doing really well, but I actually had a pretty bad race for myself, a really tough day. I got really sick right before. It was my first real European race other than the World Championships, but that was kind of such a different level of support and group, so it just felt very different. And I traveled out here by myself, so I had no crew, didn't know anybody. One drop bag at mile 50. So I had myself a day. But you know, I ended up problem solving a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I learned a lot about myself in that race, kind of because I had no one else to lean back on at all. And so for that reason, it was a really good experience. But I've also, since that race, then I've been wanting to be able to come back because I've really enjoyed the course. I love the island. I love the people. I like the competition. And so I want to come and kind of give myself another chance to have a different experience on race day.
So if you don't mind sharing what went wrong, because you do learn a lot.
Yeah. So I had some gear issues, just things that weren't quite figured out. I lost a headlamp to a cactus that went down a hillside at one point. I didn't bring poles with me and really regretted not doing that. My travel out here was kind of bonkers, and I got sick during the process of travel, so I started the race sick. So I kind of name all the things that could go wrong in an international race, and I felt like there's some degree of that I just was, it was almost got to be comical, but you also learn that any one of those things, you can solve that. You can find a way to get around it, and it might mean you have to adjust your plan or your strategy and stuff throughout the day, which is what I just kept doing. And I ended up, because of that, I was able to keep my head in the game and have myself a good, strong finish.
No, I wonder if
it wasn't easy.
There's sometimes races where if you're having to problem solve along the way, you're less focused on the pain and the hurt and I'm still got another 8 hours to go. You're in the moment trying to deal with losing your headlamp to a cactus.
I mean, that's definitely possible. I don't know. I still felt pain, but I think having any way you can have a distraction is a good thing. So I mean, if if your left foot starts hurting, then you forget about your stomach or something like that. So there's ways to work around it.
You're a scientist as a profession. I'm gonna guess you're probably a little analytical. I am, and I'd say I more like to be really organized and have plans, but at the same time, I run for fun and I really love it, and so I try not to get too in depth with over analyzing things, especially while I'm running, because I think for me that kind of takes the fun out of it. So, but after the fact, have you you had last season and you ran Transgrancanaria? Did you go back and look and think, what can I do better in my preparation? Am I in the execution?
Yeah. I mean, I did. And knowing some of the things about my travel out here, I adjusted my plan. I recruited a friend to come crew me, so I had someone who's going to help see me along the course. I brought poles. I was really lucky to be able to get out here for a couple of days before the race, so I feel like I've at least recovered a little bit from the travel, more so than I was last year at this time.
And that wiped you out a little bit last year.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. I noticed this year, a lot of the American runners came over, whether it was Saturday, whatever, just a couple extra days early. Not necessarily for a vacation, but just not to be wiped out.
Well, it's pretty far to get out here, and I think most people will have at least 24 hours of travel to get out here.
Definitely. So
if you have that, plus then the stress of the race, and we were just talking about how the race starts tomorrow at midnight or 11 p.m. So today is should be a free day, but actually there's so much stuff before the race with interviews and media and race briefing and check-in and stuff that it ends up really adding up, and you don't really have today is not really a recovery day, even though you would like it to be. So I think it was really good for me to have a couple days where I could just kind of get my feet up a little bit more and recover from the travel. So you spent at least some of that time up in Tejeda, which is a little town up in the mountains that I've reported from every year, and it's one, if I had 3 or 4 extra days here in Gran Canaria, that I'd want to go to.
Tell me what it's like up there.
Go there. Just go. Like maybe even leave the race now and just go up there. Wait for us to come through. Yeah, it's a beautiful, like picturesque little mountain town. It's like the old white buildings against the cliffside. You're up on the high point, but it was actually still quite warm. I thought it would be cold. It got cold at night, but it was still, still got the sun. It's beautiful views, really nice people. I mean, I actually was like by myself, so I basically just like isolated. I needed some downtime, but it's easy to do that there. Yeah, I would highly recommend getting up there.
I remember like the bird songs in the morning.
Yeah, there are lots of birds. You can see like sunsets were beautiful. So,
do you have any days where the clouds were pouring over the cliffs above you?
I didn't see that, but I mean, I was only out there for a couple days. Two
and how are the trails up there?
Amazing. Yeah, just amazing. And the course, so actually the course goes right through that town. So you run on the trails. There's trails everywhere there. So it's really easy to run on the race course itself. But if you don't want to do that, there's a lot of other options too. And it's at, I think about, I forget kilometers, but I can tell you miles. So it's around like mile 45 or
okay, so like
so about
70
halfway.
Kilometers, 72 kilometers, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it was, yeah, I have to convert everything to miles because
it's all right.
I can't do the math in my head when I'm tired. So, but no, it was awesome. Now that I've spent a couple of days up there, I think like I've had that experience. I know what it's like down on the beach, and like I would love to make this a race I come back to. Just because it's a nice place.
And you just had a nice training stint / race in Costa Rica at the Coastal Challenge.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Awesome. It was very hot.
Yeah.
It makes this not feel very hot, but.
Coming from Silverton, this feels really hot.
Yeah, that was my first time in Costa Rica, so it was such a cool way to experience the country, and it brought in runners from all over the world, and because you're camping with people every single night, you end up getting to know different people from everywhere, and probably a lot of people that I wouldn't normally meet at races. There are also a lot of people who don't consider themselves ultra runners there, who like just running the stage race kind of style, so it was a fun way to connect and hear different stories from different people.
Sounds like a great experience and a great month for you.
Yeah. No, I've had a really good month.
Nice. Well, good luck this weekend and enjoy.
Thank you.
Perfect.